Welcome to your new favorite podcast called Girl Run. I've wanted to have a podcast for years and years and years and years. I had so many different ideas, so many different thoughts, and I just never did it. And then I would always be like, oh my God, I had that idea, and now someone else is doing it. So I decided, I recently saw that show Worst Ex, I think it's called, on Netflix. And I was like, oh my God. I've seen so many crazy dating Reddit stories. And I thought we could share, gab, give our opinion, even though no one asked for it, and just be girlies. That's why I called it Girl Run. Because it's scary out there being a single girly. I'm not a single girly, but it's scary out there for you girls. So this Reddit thread is called Ladies, what is your worst dating horror story? So this girl writes, after the date, he was driving me home, did a stupid, illegal move, and got pulled over. He decided to run from the police with me in the car. He tried to pull into a driveway and hide, but they found us. Anyway, they put us both in handcuffs while they searched the car. They ended up giving me a ride home, and then they took him to jail. Apparently, it was a stolen car. I never saw him again. He was extradited to another state for outstanding warrants. So that was exciting. So let's just get into that. First of all, not coming from a judging place, because I get it. It's hard out there to date. It's hard out there to find a catch. And sometimes I feel like when you find someone who's interested in you, you're interested in them, you're attracted to them, you find them attractive, you guys are having good conversation, sometimes you do things that you then think about and you're like, I would never typically do that, so why did I do that then? And sometimes when we're just girlies and we get excited about stuff and we just want to be loved, and sometimes we do things that we shouldn't do. Like, you should definitely not have no man on this earth, I don't care what he says he does, I don't care, men are crazy, pick you up at your house on the first date. Like, not on the second one or the third one. Like, I'm talking about date this man for a little bit before you ever give him your address. Because at the end of the day, once someone knows where you live, then they can figure out your schedule. When you get home, when you leave for work, when you come home from work, what are you doing? They can see who's coming over. They know who your family is, who your friends are. People are crazy. They can literally pinpoint where you're going to be, what time you're going to be home, when you're not going to be home. I've heard crazy stories where people get cameras installed in their house while they're not home by a crazy ex. So, like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Red flag number 1. Don't have this man pick you up, drive you home. None of that noise. Drive yourself or Uber there. Now, I'm not saying if you want to smash that man on the first date, okay, smash him. Not at your house, though, and don't go back to his house. So you guys got to find somewhere else. Smash in the bathroom, smash at a hotel. I'm not saying if you want to get your freak flag flying, girl, no hate to you, but don't do it at your house. Don't do it at his house. Don't do it at his house because now he's in control. And if he's a freak, he can trap you in his house. I'm not trying to create fear. I'm just trying to be realistic, because you see things, like you see documentaries and you're like, oh my God, why did that girl go to his house? Why would she ever do that? Or why would she trust him? Why would she move in with him after a week? Like, sometimes you do things that you wouldn't normally do, like I said, and you could end up being that girl in that documentary. So think smarter, and don't put yourself in a situation where if he is crazy, he can have control and ownership over you. Like, put yourself in as neutral of a situation as possible. So in a hotel, okay, now you guys are both in control. You each have a key. You can go and come as you please. Make sure, like, the room is safe. Make sure he's not trying to roofie you or anything crazy like that. There's like no cameras, no tracking, none of that. It's like a neutral environment where you can leave when you want to leave if you feel uncomfy. Also, This man's nuts. Kind of dedication, because, like, he stole a car to go on a date with you and crossed over many states to go on a date with you. It's kind of giving Ted Bundy, but, like, he didn't kill anyone. Not that this Reddit post says that. It says that he was arrested for other things. What those other things are, I don't know. But I get it. You're like, he traveled states for me, and he stole a vehicle for me. Work harder, other men. But, like, that's not the standard. My sweetest angel. That's not the standard, and I'm sorry you went through that. Hopefully, the next date you went on was better than that. So this next post is on the same thread. Oh God, period. This happened when I was studying abroad. Red flag number 1. Nothing terrifies me more than these study abroad stories, because people are just crazy. Okay, anyway, let's continue. This happened when I was studying abroad. Walking home one day around 9-10 p.m. after having dinner/night out with a few classmates. This guy approaches me and starts talking to me. Seemed pretty harmless, but he asked me for a date. At the time, I was pretty young, into the whole giving a chance to anyone who was brave enough to ask. He was unattractive, but I didn't want my shallowness to stand in the way of going on a potentially nice date. Okay, we like that, queen. But also, queen, it's okay to have standards. And if one of your standards is that he needs to be a little bit attractive, don't put yourself down for that. We met up and go on this date. Walk in the park. And he turns out to be a complete psycho. It started off normal with him talking about his travel experiences and such. Eventually, we find a patch of grass to sit on, and he basically is giving me the blue steel look the entire time, and I'm trying to be nice and not laugh. He asked if he could kiss me, and I tell him that I'm not comfortable with that, and he just goes insane. Okay, queen, setting your boundaries. Eventually, it ends with me trying to get away from him as he follows me, slurring insults about how I'm a slut and a bitch, and me telling him that he's disgusting and needs to fuck off. I think he had some mental issues because he left and ran back a few times asking for forgiveness, saying that he fucked up and that he loved me / wanted to marry me / wanted to have sex with me. I think I bolted from the conversation as soon as he proclaimed with such conviction that he will have sex with me. Funny and ridiculous at the same time, but horrifying in retrospect. I also walked around for an hour in circles and random routes to make sure he would never know where I lived. Okay, queen, so a lot of things right here. A lot of things I like. I get it. You're studying abroad. You want to give one of these guys a chance, see how it goes. He might not be your type, but you're like, you know what? I'm on the dating scene. I want to give some things opportunities. I get it. And period, queen, pop off as you should. Like I said, it's okay to have standards. So if he wasn't attractive and he wasn't meeting it, that's okay. Kick him to the curb. But you did some charity work and you said, yeah, let's go out on a date. So you go out on this date and he's crazy. He's crazy. Like, you just met me, sir. What do you mean you want to marry me? What do you mean you're gonna have sex with me? That's a choice. Takes two to tango. So don't tell me what I will or will not be doing with my hatch. Also, you ate with the walking around in circles, making sure he wasn't following you, because most people would have just gotten scared and ran home, and then he could have followed you and known where you live, and clearly he's like an obsessive little freak. So that would have been real bad. But overall, what do you guys think of this story? How terrifying. How also terrifying to be like in a country alone that you don't know, trying to, give the dating scene a chance. And you get people like this who are calling you a slut and a bitch because you don't want to kiss them. Sir, you need to update your definition of a slut, because if you think that a slut is someone that doesn't give you a kiss, we got bigger fish to fry. This is so unprofesh, but my light fully died, but I have some really good stories left for you guys. So we're just going to do it without the light, if that's okay with you guys. I love this. It's like we're gabbing. I met this guy when I was 18. He said he was 26. Crazy age gap. I know. His vibe was off, and he made me really uncomfortable because there was something so off about him, and I couldn't figure out what. He didn't technically do anything creepy, but he was off. I like weird and nerdy guys, but this was like he might eat me or something. Later on, as we were pillow talking after sex, he happened to ask me my age because I guess he forgot. So naturally, I asked him his age, and he said 33. Take that in. Then, to top it off, I went to the bathroom, and his closet was in the bathroom, and the closet door was open. Why did I turn around and look in the closet and there was women's clothes? This fool said he was divorced. Then his phone rang like 3 times in a row, and he finally answered it, but he went downstairs to answer it. There's so many things to unpack in this specific story. For starters, if you thought something was weird about him, you probably shouldn't have went to his house. No judgment, girl. No judgment. No judgment. I understand. The dating game is hard, like I said in the beginning. It's hard to find a good one, and sometimes you go against your best judgment, even though the voice in your head is telling you, don't go to his house. You're like, shh, baby girl, we're going to go to his house. But from an outside perspective, it's easy, to speak on it. So I'm going to say, if you thought he was weird, like he could eat you, the last thing you should have done was go to his house. But we're going to move past that. All is forgiven. Then you sleep with him, even though you thought he could eat you. We're just gonna pass that as well. Then he tells you he's 33 and you're 18. I've heard of worse age gaps, I'm going to be honest with you. So no age shaming here. If this was the love of your life and he was 33 and you were 18, I mean, weird, very weird, but different strokes for different folks. Then you go into his bathroom and you find women's clothes. My first thought would have been, is he a cross-dresser? Then I would have thought, this is probably his wife's clothes. Then I would have went into the closet and seen what this lady was working with and been like, is she a baddie? Like, is the fashion tea or is not the fashion tea? Not that that matters at all. It's just me being nosy because, like, that doesn't matter. What's wrong is wrong. And this was wrong on his part. You're just collateral damage in this situation. Like, he owes his wife the respect. And if he told you that he was divorced, this ain't your fault, girl. Like, this is his fault for being scum. But I would have went through the closet. All right, let's break this down here. I would have went in the closet, tried to find some documentation that had this woman's name on it. If he came knocking on the door, oh, babe, you're taking long. Yeah, I'm taking a shite. I'm releasing. I would have told him that because I would have been like, this is over anyway, so I don't care if you think I'm disgusting. I don't care. Would have went in that closet. Walked in, searched the perimeter, tried to find her name because I'm going to contact this woman and let her know what just happened in her bed. Because we just railed in him and his wife's bed unknowingly. I did not know. I was unaware. But I'm going to make sure she's aware. I'm going to make sure she's aware of what she's sleeping next to. And if she decides to continue that relationship, that's on you, boo-boo. But I'm going to make sure that the girlies are aware of what these men are doing. So I'm rummaging through the closet. Rummaging. I find her name. Mental picture, okay? Let's say I don't find anything. Now things are a little more complicated, so I don't find anything. Now, I'm going to go downstairs while he's downstairs on the phone. I'm going to start searching through mail. I'm in the kitchen. I'm searching through mail. That's where I keep my mail, so I'm just assuming that everyone else does too. I'm searching through the mail, trying to find this woman's name. Bingo, find her name. I'm fully dressed at this point. You got to get dressed before you head downstairs, okay? Dressed downstairs. Now I'm going to take that piece of mail. I'm not going to open it because that's a crime. I'm going to take that piece of mail with me. I'm going to leave the house. By the time he gets on the phone, he's like, where'd she go? I left because some things came to light. Some things that I did not like. So I left. I'm out. I bust the windows out your car. I'm not going to do that because I'm not trying to get arrested in this situation. But if his wife wants to do that, I will join her. Now I have this information. I'm going to go on Facebook, violently search for this woman, or in a few days from now, I'm going to pass by the house, see who's there. If it's a different car than his, I'm a knocking. Knock, knock, knock. Ma'am. Your husband entered me last night, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, in your bed. And I just think that you should know that he's out here entering other women behind your back and pretending that he's not. Now she's devastated. I'm consoling her. Ma'am, it's okay. You don't need him. He's trash. He's trash. Put Nair in his shampoo. Put water in his gas tank. Start dividing your assets. Don't act now. Think about what you're going to do. Start stashing that joint account. Start stashing some money to the side. Open up a bank account in your mother's name. Put the money in there so they can't take it from you in the divorce. Plan. Don't act out of emotion. Take a second. Process this. We're going to get through this together. Mistress and wife. Thick as thieves. We're going to figure this out together. You got to act slow. You know this information. Use it against him. Open up that account. Spend the next month taking money from that joint account and stuffing it in that account with your mother's name. Then, when he's left with nada, try to get the house signed in your name. This is going to seem evil. I'm going to seem crazy. I don't care. I'm here to protect the girlies. Try to get that house signed over in your name if you can. You know? Put a little sexy outfit on. Be like, babe, I just think the house should be under my name. Whip a tit out. He'll sign that over. House is in your name. When you have everything and he's left with nothing, because that's what he thought he was going to do to you, then you say, champ, here's the divorce. I know you've been cheating on me. I have witnesses. And I'm going to be good without you. I'm going to be great without you. And I hope you enjoy life. Now the divorce comes. Oh my God, where'd all the money go? I don't know. I spent it. It's not there anymore. I don't know where it is. Yes, you do. But he doesn't need to know that. He doesn't need to know that. Oh my God, I signed the house over to you. That's the least I deserve for the mental abuse you put me through with sleeping with another woman in my sheets and then making me wash the sheets. You filthy animal. Same thread. Where to start? My last boyfriend I found on a dating app. He turned out to be a psycho who physically restrained me from leaving the house after breaking up with him. I want to give a trigger warning before this one. If you've dealt with a psycho, if you have PTSD of like a true authentic psycho, maybe skip this one. Let's continue. He tried to run me off the road and would say shit like he wished his best man, his BM, I guess that means best man. I don't know what that could mean. Tell me in the comments. But he wished his BM would grape and murder me. We've lost the plot. Still dealing with the trauma years later. Naturally. I hope he gets hit by a car since he wished that on you. Unfortunately, this girl does have a second story, completely separate one under as well. There was a dude who seemed fine over phone/text, but gave major serial stalker, possible killer vibes in person. Like, he tried to force me to hug him after the first date, despite me clearly being uncomfortable. I blocked him on everything, and he found other ways to contact me. ... I threatened to report him to the military police for stalking. He was in the army. Somehow they always are. I think they did something to him to fuck him up in the head. Those were the scariest ones for me, but other experiences have ranged from extremely awkward to weird/creepy. The best times I had were with the two men who pretended they wanted serious relationships, but flipped and admitted that they didn't want commitment when I wouldn't immediately sleep with them. It's hard AF out here, but I refuse to use dating apps. Honestly, I've never used dating apps, so I can't say yay or nay about them dating apps, but a lot of these documentaries about murderers, serial killers, crazy people, a lot of these stories where women were like, his basement was covered in plastic and he tried to Dexter me. Why do they always start with dating apps? And how do these dating apps keep having so many subscribers? If all these murderous stories, like on Netflix, on Hulu, on all these apps, like always start with, you know, I met him on a dating app. Like, the last thing I'm going to want to do is join a dating app if I see such high numbers of this person was crazy, this person tried to kill me, this person this, and it all is like, oh, how did you find them on a dating app? Let's rewind a little. But this story about this dude who was like a major stalker / gave killer vibes in person, the fact that these people are in like the military and aren't scared and are just like so bold and being like, yeah, I'll end you right now. Like, you're not scared that your reputation is like on the line? I don't know. People are so odd. It just makes me want to stay at home and say, like I said, I'm in a very happy relationship, a person I met in person. So I can't even speak on this because like I didn't have these experiences. However, if I did have these experiences, like talk about becoming a shut-in. Talk about like never wanting to go out on another date. Talk about it's me, my TV, a bowl of cereal, a bowl of ice cream, and a bevy each night. Don't want any male energy approaching my direction if these are the type of experiences that I'm encountering. No, thank you. No, thank you. Keep them for yourself. Keep them for yourself. I have to read you guys this one because I have this one saved. Same Reddit thread. My top 2 scariest dating experiences are number 1. First story. Why do people have more than one story? That's another thing. Like, I am so sorry, girlies out there who are just trying to be loved and be in relationships and get married and have kids and have the white picket fence. But like time and time again, it's just like these horrific, crazy stories. Girl, run. Like, just run. That's someone outside my apartment just jamming. I love that. My top 2 scariest dating experiences. This guy was a decent level of attractiveness. We exchanged pleasantries and he was all like, do you want to do something fun? I got a funny feeling about it and asked him if he had meant a date. He proceeds to tell me yes, invites me out for drinks at a local motel. No. I block him immediately. Turns out it was possibly the shopping cart serial killer and I look like his dead girlfriend. Wait. Did you guys process that? This girl almost got serial murdered. And thank God she listened to her intuition and the little voice in her head, because she looked like the serial killer's victim. Let's continue to the second story. I was chatting with a dude and he said or did something that I found triggering. I was in a previously abusive relationship and had worked with many offenders. Turns out, dude had an extreme history of domestic violence. Whoa, boy. Let's just shut this. You know what's so scary? Is how many women have more than one experience with people who like tried to harm them in an intimate manner, people who tried to murder them. Like, no one should even have one story like that, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories like that. Thank God that girl listened to her inner voice and didn't go against it, because she could have been on one of those documentaries. Like, that's what I mean. You always think, like, it won't happen to me, that won't be me, like, no shot, I'm smarter than that. You watch these shows and you're like, how could this girl ever think that, do that, go there, be with this man? But, like, you're not that far off. None of us are that far off. Like I said multiple times, sometimes you put your best judgment to the side and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give love a chance and I'm not going to listen to myself. Thank God that girl didn't listen to her, that girl listened to herself, because she could have been RKO'd. She could have been murdered at a motel. Like, if you're going to do it anywhere, take me to a better place than a motel, boo. Like, don't do it at a motel where the floors are sticking to my shoes, sir. If you're going to do this, at least take me to the Ritz. Like, at least let me, the last thing I see be the Ritz. Like, a motel? That's how little you think I'm worth? No. Thank God that girl didn't go. And then she has a second experience with a loco. Crazy pants. I get if you want to take a few years off the dating game, I get it. Because after those 2 experiences, I would need at least 10 to 20 to life to recover from those situations. It's just crazy out here. And then it's like, these serial killers have wives, have girlfriends, have relationships. I just don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about these stories. Comment any stories that you might have, or email me any stories that you might have. If you don't feel like publicly sharing, I would gladly share your story anonymously if that's okay with you. Or if you just want to tell me and you don't want me to share it, let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching the first episode, and I can't wait to release more of these. I'm going to release one of these once a week. I'm really excited because I have way more crazier stories saved on my Reddit threads that I don't even think you guys are prepared for. But thank you so much for joining me on the first episode of Girl Run, where we are banding together, us girlies. The more awareness, the better. You guys need to know stories like this just so you're on high alert. And it's okay. One day, everyone will find their perfect match that is stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, delicious. But until then, let's continue to share awareness on these creeps that are out in the streets. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you next week.